We do. You do an invitation?
Tall.
Sure. Okay. Call the meeting to order. This is the City of Hannibal official council agenda. It's Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. We're in the council chambers at 7 p.m. Ask the clerk call the roll, please.
Council members Veach, McCoy.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Here.
Councilmember Franke.
Present.
Mayor Hark. Councilmembers Phillips
Here.
and Welch.
Here.
There being a quorum present, being a quorum, I'll call the meeting to order. The invocation, please. Carol.
Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather here this evening to bring about the city's work, citizens and community members, pray for your guidance, courage, making decisions that need to be made tonight. Pray for our local first responders, firefighters, military members, those that protect and serve us every day. Their comfort, strength, dedication to the job that they do. All these things in His name.
Amen. Chief Naki, please pledge.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all. First thing on the agenda is approval of the agenda. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And then I'd ask to excuse the mayor tonight.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Approval of minutes, closed session meeting, November the 16th, 2021. Closed session meeting, February 2 of 2020. Closed session meeting, October 20 of 2020 and May 4th of 2021. And then the regularly scheduled meeting, council meeting of August 2nd, 2022. Motion to second. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Approval of payroll and accounts payable for the second half of August 2022. I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Any discussion? Questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Justin Barnhart, Two Rivers Industries. The annual report and presentation of request for April ballot initiative. Continuation of the $1.90 recycling.
Good evening, board.
Okay.
My name is Justin Barnhart, the director for Two Rivers Industries, Sheltered Workshop here in Hannibal. I did email this report over, but I brought it with me just to kind of touch on it. But this report is the annual report for Two Rivers, also a request for the $1.90 to be placed back on the coming ballot. Beginning in 2014 through March of 2022, Two Rivers was under the direction of another director and another executive director during that time. And from my opinion and the opinion of the public's, it wasn't being as productive as it should have been. April 1st, 2022, I, Justin Barnhart, was hired as the new executive director. We've made a lot of changes there since then. Some of the things we're taking for recycling is cardboard, paper, books, magazines, electronics that'd be corded or battery powered. Appliances, any type of appliance, by the way. There was some confusion with the public not understanding what type of appliances, but it's any appliance from home, anything from home. Any type of, I'm sorry.
Pardon me, no size restrictions on appliances?
No matter how big or small, any appliance. Refrigerators, toasters, anything like that.
Thank you.
Any types of metals, aluminum, steel cans, glass, food grade glass, like glass bottles, beer bottles, wine bottles. Plastics, number ones, number twos. The previous director quit taking those plastics in 2020 and continued to or she didn't take them again until I took that place in April. We also take small equipment, lawnmowers, weed eaters, chainsaws, any type of small garden tillers, things like that. Since 2020 until April of 2022, there were restrictions on what you could and could not drop off for recycling. But April 1st, there were no restrictions on that. Now, there are some things that we cannot take, and that's only because I can't get rid of it. Certain plastic grades that I can't get rid of right now. I'm working with a recycler to try to get that taken care of. But until then, I can't do anything with it, and then it ends up going in the garbage. You know what I mean? So right now, we're not taking the 3s, 4s, 5s, 7s, 6s, because I can't do anything with them. But we're hoping that changes before the end of the year. Our hours of operation, 7:30 to 5 p.m. on Monday, 7:30 to 1:30 on Tuesday, Wednesday, 7:30 to 1:30, Thursday, 7:30 to 5, Friday, 7:30 to 1:30, and the last Saturday of the month, 7:30 to noon. And the reason we close at 1:30 on certain days is because we employ the individuals with disabilities. They don't work as fast as the common work field would. So we shut down early like that, or we quit taking material, and we go and process what they can't so we can start up the next day. So the only reason we close at 1:30 like that. Plastic drop-off days, this is going to change, by the way, but they're on Mondays and Thursdays from 7:30 to 5. We're going to change that. What happened is when I started taking plastic in April, it was an overflow of plastic, and I couldn't process it fast enough. So I had to shut down everything else we were doing, just process plastic. So as soon as I get that mountain of plastic gone, we'll go 5 days a week on plastic. And the last Saturday of the month, we're taking all the other recycling too, that not just plastic that day. We're taking plastic and all the recycling that day. There is a process for dropping this material off, or if you pull up in front of the building, there's bins set up out there. They're all labeled as what goes in each bin. That's pretty self-explanatory, though. When you come in there, it's not very hard to figure that one out. The plastics, we request that you bring that inside the lobby. Otherwise, everybody will throw things in there that's things we can't take. But since April the 1st, there's been a lot of upgrades to that place. I don't know if the pictures came through in that email or not.
They did.
But we put in a brand new 6-foot privacy fence around it. There was no fence there in the past. So it looks a lot better now. We've got brand new road signs at on Clinic, or where Clinic Road and our road meet. So there's brand new signs there facing both directions. We've got new signs on the fencing right there at the gates, and that's got all of our materials that we accept, and our hours and our website and all that. We've built a brand new website, by the way. Something I found out was the older generation does not use the internet, so they didn't understand what we was doing. So that's the reason I put the signs up at the gate for those that don't use that. Also, we have flyers printed out in the lobby. When they come in, we give that to them so everybody can see what we're doing. We put a brand new ventilation system in. There was no ventilation there. So that's helped out a lot with air and different things. Yeah. We put brand new insulation in the workshop. The old stuff, it was falling down. It was bad, but that was in the pictures as well. Let's see here. We are hoping to have all of these upgrades that are in the works now done by December, and it shouldn't take very long, probably not even that long to get them done, but I'm stretching it that far just to be safe. As far as staffing is concerned, this thing was written out the way that the last one was written out, so some of this may be unuseful, I don't know, but as far as our staffing is concerned, we've got 4 non-disabled staff members there. Myself, production manager, safety maintenance supervisor, and a new assistant director. We've got 9 disabled employees. That number is usually a lot higher than that, but some of the homes won't let their individuals go back to work, and I can't do anything about that.
COVID related still?
That's what they're saying. Yeah, I've put it on our website, and I've put it out to the different homes that we're hiring for different positions, and it's just a matter of getting them processed. That takes time, too, because the state has to approve all of that. We can't just hire them right on. Our materials that we've processed over the year, since September of last year until September 1st of this year, we've processed 178 tons of material. Now, that's combined between cardboard, paper, aluminum cans, metal, plastic, and glass. From September of last year, 21, till December of 21, plastic and glass wasn't included in that portion because we wasn't doing it then. The old director was there into that. Our holiday schedule's in there also. We try to build our holiday schedule. Some of the, I've found there's been a lot of negative about that. But the truth of the matter is I build this holiday schedule based off of the transportation of our disabled employees. They use the Oats bus in their homes and things like that. So if they're not working and driving employees to work, then I can't get anything processed with just 4 people. So we have to build that, which, by the way, that schedule's a general schedule like any other business would use and go by. The other thing that I'd like to talk about is the $1.90 to be placed back on the ballot. And I know that in the past that under previous management that Two Rivers wasn't doing what it should have been doing, but we're doing all that we can to change that, and we have changed that. If you come by and look at it and see what we're talking about, there has been lots of changes done since the previous director. So the money's going to a good thing there. I mean, it's being used the right way. The other thing is, without that $1.90 a month, there is no Two Rivers. It's just as plain as I can put that. We just won't have it. I mean, that's what gets us through. That's what helps us along. We also started a recycling program with Mark Twain School. And tomorrow I have a meeting with Hannibal Public School District to start picking up for all of their buildings that they have across Hannibal. I actually put it in the document here that we're done with that because it is done. I just have to go and look and see what these locations are. So we haven't physically started that until tomorrow. Okay. And that meeting, like I said, is tomorrow. The truth of it is also is that the citizens in Hannibal pay for this service, and I'm trying to give them that service. It's just taking some time to fix something that was broken. And this isn't to throw anybody under the bus. This is just the reality of it. So things are getting better, a lot better, by the way. This $1.90 goes towards our general operation cost, our equipment upgrades if ever needed. And equipment wears out fast over there. It don't take long. Building maintenance, things like that. But most of all is we employ disabled individuals there. So without Two Rivers, they don't have a job neither. So the $1.90 don't just support helping us stay going. It also gives employment to those with disabilities. Does that make sense? So that's what I would like to be considered if we could possibly consider that. That's all I have.
Does the council have questions of Mr. Barnes?
I have a couple questions, and well, actually mostly comments, to tell you the truth. I'm a user of your facility, and I'm a big fan of it. Really like all the improvements you made. Thank you. Especially in general cleanliness of the site and in the materials that you accept. The appliances and the tools, that sort of stuff that you take, that's such a huge help. Thank you. That being said, as somebody who's trying to be a little pragmatic here, I think you're going to be able to garner more support in the short term and long term if, one day a week, you had your hours past 5 p.m. I know you have certain limitations with your employees, but only being open till 5 and only one Saturday a month is challenging for some folks.
It is, and in fact, I'd met months ago here about this, but that's why we started the one Saturday. Now, it's hard to promise what day that would be. I'm not saying we won't do it. Let me look at it and see what day is going to work best for that. And
It'd be easier to add a second Saturday than to stay past 5.
we could possibly do that too. See, the reason that we chose the last Saturday of the month is because Palmyra's got the first and the first and the third. So we took the 4th. I don't guess it would be an issue really to take the 2nd and the 4th. That way you'd have every weekend to go somewhere. Yeah, I'll look at that. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Question on your appliances. Do they need to, refrigerators, freezers?
No,
They don't
yes,
need to-
we can take that, but are you talking about refrigerant that's
Yes.
in them? No, the guy that picks that stuff up from us says that we can drop it just like that.
Okay.
Somebody had called a while back about that. But yeah, so we can take it with refrigerant in it. He picks it up that way.
Okay, they recover.
And he recovers, yes. He's got a unit there to do his business.
Any other questions?
Before this email, all I got was they're never open, never doing
Yeah.
all this stuff.
I know.
I know you've gotten that too, but with this email, the hours that you've promised, I like this a whole lot better.
Thank you.
Just so you
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions, accept a motion to place the continuation of the $1.90 recycling fee on the April ballot.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Sean Thompson, American Legion Riders. Oh, okay.
Sir, I'm asking for the street to be closed on between between 4th Street, Broadway and Center, so I can do a 9/11 salute. I've been in contact with the fire chief and the police chief, so they both are on board on this, so I've passed the flyer around, trying to bring back 9/11.
Let's remember, let's not repeat it.
Let's remember it,
Yes.
exactly.
The clerk indicates that all department heads have had favorable comments. Insurance has been filed. So, are there any questions of Mr. Thompson? With that, I'll. Yes.
I was wondering if during your event, there be any? Will you be contributing at all to the 9/11
Oh, this is-
fund of any sort? Will there be any kind of contribution towards
No, and I-
survivors?
and I appreciate your comment, but no, this is strictly for the Hannibal area. This is not a fundraiser in any event.
Okay.
This is just let's not forget.
All right, just a straight up memorial.
It's a straight up. Lost their life. EMT.
Okay.
And
Understood.
Any other questions? Look for. Thank you. Here a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
your
you very
service.
much.
Amy McCoy, Hannibal J.C.'s request for street closures, annual Halloween parade, Saturday, October 22nd from 5 to 8 p.m.
Can I speak for her on her behalf?
You're going to go off.
Do you want me to go out there? I was going to say, I don't have enough hands, and the kids are at ball practice, so
Okay.
I told her that I would take care of it for her. But no, you should have everything in your packet. It's for the Hannibal J.C.'s, their annual Halloween parade. I believe all the documentation's been submitted and signed. So this is a ongoing thing that we do year from year, and I've had good support from the city. So look for approval.
The clerk indicates that all department heads had favorable comments and the insurance is on file. So, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then going to do the second
Yep, the
request?
exact same thing. The Hannibal J.C.'s request street closures for the annual Christmas parade, Saturday, December 3rd, 2022, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Again, everything's submitted in the packet. Clerk has all of the pertinent information, so
Everything's on file. That's Saturday, December 3rd from 5 to 8.
that's correct.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Mark Molinsky, 909A Church Street. Larry Markley, did you want to speak? Okay, makes it easy. I'll do these for Mayor Hark. Recommendations of appointment for a first reading, the Airport Board, Donald Bastian, an appointment for an unexpired term to expire in September 2023. On is myself. Basically approval of an extension deadline for the Mark Twain River vote. And in your packet, I think it described that there's still parts issues, supply chain issues there. The engineers have not agreed on what was done for Canton Marine, so it's kind of put Steve in quandary. So what I'm looking for, recommended by the city engineer, was to extend that electrical extension deadline to March 1st. So I would look for a motion to approve that extension.
Make that motion.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried on that. Stephen Franke, Councilmember, 3rd West, April 3 ballot initiative charter amendment.
Great, thank you. I think this is best explained with an example. Let's say I'm a voter. Let's also say it is August 12th, 2022, a Friday, and the council agenda has just come out for the next meeting. I see something on that agenda that excites me or maybe even concerns me, and I want to comment on it to the city council. Unfortunately, with the way our system is currently set up, I would not be allowed to do so till tonight, Tuesday, September 6th, 2 meetings and over 3 weeks later. I do not think that is okay, but the neat thing is that we here have the power to change that. So that is what I am suggesting, that we place a charter amendment on the April 2023 ballot to permanently create a public comment period at all open meetings of the city of Hannibal. I got.
Discussion?
Is there a legal reason that we can't do this?
You mean without a charter amendment, or do you?
At all?
Palmyra does it in all of their council meetings. For instance, they have a comment period at the beginning. Lots of large cities will do it where there's a comment period that's basically a separate portion of the meeting. My one concern, and Councilman Franke and I discussed this, would be I don't think, if you're going to do something like this, I don't think you should make it very specific. I think I want to make a provision that be a public comment period and allow the council to set such rules as they deem appropriate. The example I gave to him is big YouTube fan, and I like to watch people troll city councils comment period. It makes me laugh, but I don't want to laugh when it's us. So I think that's some ability to make sure that the rules, make sure it's not being abused. I don't think there's any problem having it. So long as you keep it.
Yeah, I read this over. The language, I think, needs a few tweaks. I think it should be like a 2 to 5 minute time limit, not a 2 to 10. And I think it should be only on agenda items. Because if you got somebody coming in here, not tying up time,
You know,
we have to do the agenda.
The suggestion I made to Councilman Franke, if you're going to put it in the charter, I think it ought to be, because our charter is very generic and sets some very generic general rules and then allows the council to promulgate ordinances that will put that into effect. So my suggestion would be that you don't put anything like that in a charter amendment. You just put in something very simple, like at the beginning of each meeting, there will be a public comment period with rules of the comment to be promulgated by the council. I'm just ballparking it there, but something just real basic and simple. I think it's not a problem as an idea in general, but the suggestion would be don't overcomplicate it, because if you do, you're gonna regret how you did it. And I'll give you the perfect example. We changed the charter to allow the Board of Public Works to meet out at the board offices, and also to allow one member to attend via phone. And then COVID happened. And a lot of people ask me, well, why didn't you all fix it? I'm like, because I didn't think about COVID. I drafted a charter change that requested. Part of the problem is we got too specific, in my opinion. So that's what I'm always concerned about, is when you change your charter, don't make it something that you may regret in 5 years and that you're going to change. Just if you guys are so inclined, just having a public comment period, I don't think that's a problem. I think it only becomes a problem if you make too many rules, or not enough rules, or make rules that don't work when you actually try to put it into practice.
So our meetings, they're based loosely on the Roberts rules, right?
We do not we follow neither Robert's rules nor Cannon's rules. Cannon's rules is what the Missouri legislature follows. We just say that our charter says the council will promulgate rules of order as they deem appropriate. If you got to a point where you wanted to follow a particular rules of order, you could do that without changing the charter, because you've got the right to promulgate rules. But right now, we don't follow any formal rule book. It's all the rules that have been promulgated over the years.
So I just picked up on something you said there. It doesn't have to be a charter change, but I know that it's in our minutes as a charter change. I'm either way on that, but as far as this goes, I don't think it's a bad idea.
I might interject that I've had in the past, on several occasions, constituents come to me in a council meeting with a specific item that was to be discussed that night, and they weren't on the agenda, but any councilman can ask for someone from the floor to be recognized, and mayor can recognize them and they can speak. So I feel like I've already got that. If someone wants to speak on something that pertains to any subject, they can approach their council person, your representative for the city, so they can approach you, be recognized that night to speak. So I think that we already got it there.
And that is kind of our job, like we are to speak for these people. And
Right.
so the gentleman in the back row calls me on Friday afternoon, or Saturday morning, or Tuesday at lunchtime and says, I have an issue with this agenda item, and here's what it is. He can show up to the meeting, like Mayor Pro Temp said, I can request from the mayor him to speak, or I can read what he wrote and said, I have a constituent that has concerns with X, Y, Z. That process is already there. My concern is to have a 30-minute period up here. I'm not opposed to it, but like the city attorney said, I think we need to figure out what that looks like. Because if it's not council related, I mean, the last thing that anybody wants, I mean, you look at all these department heads and stuff that have been at work all day long, now it's almost 8 o'clock at night. I get it, but it's not stump the chump hour up here, or shouldn't be at the city council level. We don't need to be wasting time with people asking questions that, quite frankly, we might not know the answer to. We need some time to research it. We need some time to look it up. And I'm afraid that those lines might get blurred.
A lot of chatter going on here, but to address Councilman McCoy and Mayor Pro Tem Dobson real quick, I think anytime a person wants to speak, it is valuable. It's not wasted. Furthermore, on what Colin was saying and what James was saying, if we're talking about specific ballot language, I prefer specificity. I don't think that's probably a surprise to anybody here, but I'm fine to compromise if that's what's passed. And furthermore, I know if a future city council pulled any funny business, a hot button issue, there'd be enough of an uproar to address the issue. Probably.
Personally, I don't like the word permanent in there. Permanent means that you can't change it. So if it didn't work out, if it's permanent, you can't withdraw it.
That is the nature of a charter amendment. It's intentionally done. to protect against bad actors.
But then you can't change it because it's voted on.
Daryl, counterpoint about bringing it to us. I'm kind of under the belief that somebody feels passionate enough to say something that don't need to be the middleman. I don't think we should do a charter amendment, but I do think that we should consider this as a thing for the public. For voting purposes, I'll make the motion that we don't change to a charter amendment, but allow this to happen.
It's, what would be in order would be a motion to approve what has been requested. So,
You can make an alternate motion. I think, I would suggest, Mayor Pro Tem, that maybe, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth, Councilman, but I think maybe he's proposing ordinance that would make a provision for a public comment period. And I think he's wanting me to go draft something and bring it back to you guys and agenda but review, because that would allow everyone to take a look at specifics.
James, that is
Jim Dewey, 303 North 6 Hannibal. Your school board does this. People are
Some
allowed
Board
to
of Public
speak
Works.
on or off agenda. They can speak off agenda as long as they request ahead of time. Speak on agenda anytime.
I just need your name. I know who you are.
Jim
but I
Dewey.
need your name for the record.
I said
Okay.
that. J-I-M Dewey.
I know who you are.
The other thing, Mike, you say we could approach our council member. Third ward for several months earlier this year had no council member. Who should we have approached?
The mayor? The mayor represents the entire city.
I would rather approach my council member sometimes.
I think boards have individual needs. That's why we represent.
James, what you said is more closely to the motion. I would like you to redraft something that makes this an ordinance but not a charter change, and then bring this back to us.
Happy if, I don't know if Councilman Franke is okay with us trying to go that route. I realize you got something before it, but didn't have a second.
Yeah, no.
There's a second, kind of a subsidiary motion. I guess we kind of ran with something. We should have asked the councilman what his thoughts were.
Oh, no, I appreciate that, James. I actually have a question for the city clerk. If a voter who's not a city council person wants to add something to the ballot, is there a way to get signatures and do so?
There's a petition process, if you'd like to address that, city attorney. I've handled it.
There's a
couple of
petition
them.
process. If people want the way charter change is set up under our charter, would be that it can be one of two ways that they can do it for people. Either the council can make a proposal and bring it back, or can go to the people, and if you get sufficient signatures, registered voters, then it will go on the agenda. Now, it still goes back to the council to create legislation that will put it into effect. Similar thing we did the water plant. That's the way it was done. There was a petition, and then it came back, and I'm actually drafted language based on my best understanding of what they wanted. I'm not saying I did understand, but I think we got what they wanted. So
That's right.
Yeah.
So to answer your early question, I will definitely support Colin's ordinance update, but I will also be going to get signatures for.
That's my comment. That's solving the problem. Client open about what. So if you don't want to support Colin's issue, let's discuss it further instead of just. I mean, I don't understand. I'm just blown away. Like,
think,
Nobody here has said no to your idea. Everybody is open and receptive, but we just have questions. For me, personally, when you throw this on the agenda on Friday and give me a couple days to process it and dissect it, I need some more time. So to ask tonight for this to get put on the agenda or on the ballot, I'm not going to favor it. I mean, there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of things to look at. So we've addressed a lot of them tonight, but
Yeah. I'm glad you said something, because it's neat to remember that I'm pursuing it in the same way that anybody else would do it. So I think the rules should apply to me the same they apply to everybody else. And I think if we can all remember that I work for my constituents, certainly not you, we're all-
I guess personally, if I had something that I wanted to put on the ballot as an initiative, I would probably individually discuss it with each council. So where I was trying to go with this was to either yay or nay Councilman Franke's charter amendment. But you've got a motion on the floor. Did you want to second it? No.
Technically, I was kind of asking Councilman Franke consent to an amendment. I don't think you do that.
Oh, yeah.
So you consent to an amendment. Okay, then yes, then basically you need a second. I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
No, you're good, and I second it.
And I second that motion.
It's been seconded.
Second.
Right. Would you read it back, please? So
What
came up with language there.
what I said was that I would bring back ordinance to the council, which would make provision for a public comment. Council.
then all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Lisa Peck, City Manager, approval appointment.
Good evening. I have before you this evening the approval of John Ortworth for the Board of Public Works for reappointment for a term to expire July of 2026. This has already had a first reading. The second reading was inadvertently left off of the agenda previously, so that is being
Need motion approved. Need a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Michael Murphy, Building Inspector, Code Amendment, Chapter 2, Daycares. Aye.
Request the zoning ordinance to allow daycares, all zones. Change.
Okay. So Bill 22-025 to follow as amended. Thank you. Andy Dorian, Director of Central Services, acquisition of property, contract for the sale of real estate, Bear Creek Sports Park.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council. As I discussed at last council meeting, we've been working with the members of the Bear Creek Board for well over a year. This has actually been a discussion topic for at least 10 years. The Parks Department taking over ownership of the Bear Creek Sports Complex and running all the leagues and tournaments from there. So the city attorney drafted this contract. This would take over ownership of the property, would include all assets, including batting cage, concession stand, all equipment that's out there. As part of that, the Parks Department will pay off two debts, one at HMB of $25,291.60, another one for John Deere Gator that they purchased this year for $15,024.01. So I can answer any questions anyone may have.
Curious about one thing.
Yes, sir.
Would that be a city property? Because
It will
it's not contiguous.
Yeah, the city already owns property outside the city limits, including the landfill.
Sure.
being one.
Okay. Then will any calls directed from there, injuries or anything, be responding?
Yeah, so
Fire
that's something that we still
laws.
have to work out
Okay.
with 911.
Okay, that's
and
what I
with
was
the police
gonna ask.
department. That's something, if this goes through, that we will coordinate with and get that straightened out.
Okay, very good.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Forgive me for not reading the contract more closely, but is this something that we'll sign in 15 days and it's ours, or is this something we sign and then we assume responsibility on January 1st?
We'll take over immediately once it's recorded.
Any other questions?
This was a long time coming, and thanks for your end of this.
Yep.
And, our Hannibal leagues playing out there.
Yeah, kudos to the board members, 30 plus years, taking this on. I mean, they've ran it themselves as parents for that long. It's pretty amazing that they've been able to do that.
Sure.
So, and we are agreeing to continue on with the advisory board to the park board. What we'll eventually do is have a member of that advisory board be a member of the park board so that we continue to work together on this. This is a collaboration of basically everyone trying to offer good
That's
leagues.
all. Okay, resolution number 2428-22 to follow.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. So resolution number 2428-22, I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2428-22, resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for the sale of real estate between the City of Hannibal and the Bear Creek Sports Park, Inc., transferring ownership of the Bear Creek Sports Park to Hannibal Parks and Recreation Department. Councilmembers Beach. McCoy.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Yes.
Councilmember Franke.
Yes.
Councilmembers Phillips.
Yes.
And Welch.
Yes.
I declare resolution number 2428-22 duly approved and adopted on this day. Now we'll move to bill number 22-022. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Number 22-022, ordinance of the City of Hannibal, finding that a certain blighted area is defined in Chapter 353 of the Revised Statutes of Missouri as amended, the Urban Redevelopment Corporation law exists in the City of Hannibal, and that the redevelopment of such area is necessary and in the public interest, approving a development plan for such area, approving a grant of limited real property tax abatement, approving a development agreement, and providing further authority. Second and final reading. Councilmembers Beach. McCoy.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Yes.
Councilmember Franke.
Yes.
Councilmembers Phillips.
Yes.
And Welch.
Yes.
I declare bill number 22-022 duly approved and adopted on this day. Move to bill number 22-023. Need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a final and second reading.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, real quick. This is, Andy, this is the position for Bear Creek, right?
Yes.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 22-023, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal amending the fiscal year 2022-2023 payroll ordinance number 2 relative to the addition of a recreation supervisor's position. Second and final reading. Councilmembers Beach. Hoy.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Yes.
Councilmembers Franke.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
And Welch.
Yes.
I declare bill number 22-023 duly approved and adopted on this day. Move to bill number 22-024. Need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading.
Second.
Just a second.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 22-024, 4, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal rezoning a tract of land being part of the southwest quarter of Section 13, Township 57 North, Range 5 west of the 5th Meridian in the City of Hannibal, Marion County, Missouri, from B multiple family to PDR Planned Density Residential Zoning District and amending the city's zoning map. Second and final reading. Councilmembers Beach, McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Yes.
Councilmembers Franke,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
and Welch.
Yes.
I declare bill number 22-024 duly approved and adopted on this day. Bill number 22025. Need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading as amended.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 22-025, as amended, an ordinance revising Chapter 32 of the revised ordinances of the City of Hannibal to allow the placement of daycare and daycares in all zones in the City of Hannibal. First reading.
That concludes, so move to closed session in accordance with RSMO 610-021, subparagraph 1 and 2. Need a motion to go into closed session, admitting myself, council, city manager, city attorney, city clerk. Is that it? Okay. And deputy clerk. Need a motion? Motion? Have a second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Councilmembers Beach, McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilmembers Franke,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
and Welch.
Yes.